Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Okay, and this is why I don't do live streams as often anymore, but I'm going to finish this in like one go because gang on this. So, well, not one go because there's, of course, like a break in the stream, and I don't think anyone's viewing it at this point, but whatever. I'm back and I'm going to finish this. So, yeah, internet issue or my T500 crashed. Not quite sure. I noticed the in-browser thing crashed my X200 as well. I don't think it's like an overheating thing. But either way, let's get on with this. So I was pretty much just going to download the updated BIOS, and I have that booted up over there. I was kind of getting sick of the space situation, and I was thinking originally of installing like installing a new or Chrome just to download the thing on there, but I was realizing that was going to take a long time. So let's see what we got on here. And I'm still having Wi-Fi connection issues. So at least the Ethernet though is working. So I'm just gonna go over here. Ow. Oh, okay. And after that, I'm gonna plug this in. Hopefully it's gonna connect. And then I'll be able to type in X200 BIOS on here. BIOS download Windows 7. Hopefully the stream's still going. 3.22.107, download file. Oh wait, and we'll get the 32-bit one too, just in case. I'm not quite sure which version of Windows, like what is exactly installed on there. So it says about 3 minutes left on that. So we're gonna set this down here. And yeah, let's see what battery percentage this is at. We're at 12%. Log in on that one, and okay. Let's see if I did put a battery in here. It should be charging. It won't update the BIOS unless the battery's like half full. So let's 4%. Oh God, we're gonna be here a while. So you swap out the battery. This one's at 11%. I don't think I have any. Okay. I should have prepared a little bit more for this stream, but nonetheless, I'm gonna finish this. Hopefully, with a new vigor, only seen in few. I don't know if I can quote Black Flag anymore because Henry Rollins is kind of annoying at this point. 6 DUJ48, that should pull it up. Got two of them. I'll go move to these two. Let's run sudo fdist. Really should have a script that does this. And we're going to mount them to /dev/svb. So sudo mount /dev/svb1/mount. And we'll go over here and we'll just paste it. Fuck, it didn't work. I swear if I need to be root or something. It's weird. 60. There we go. And repeat. It says loader work process failed. Okay, that's not exactly good. So I'm going to type in the commands manually because I am getting a little bit annoyed at this point. Use study FC / mount 0. Why is it mounted as read only? That's not good. Okay, unmounted it. I'll get back in. So the left is. And then we're going to remount this. Okay, now it's working. And I'm just going to put a. Okay, now that we have those files on there, and people are probably going to be complaining about my horrible ergonomics in the setup, but we'll just do that, and we'll get on with this. Okay, so umount / mount 0, target's busy, don't know why, so we'll put a little /L command. Take this, put it in here. Open folder to view files. Accept the license agreement on the proprietary Lenovo one. Update ThinkPad BIOS. Next. Next. And it's complaining about the battery level. See it's charging. It's at 5%. Oh god, it's gonna take a while. Okay, so now to stop and okay. I'll make fun of my ergonomics, I guess. It's gonna take some time to charge the battery on there, and yeah, I don't know. The pose of the neat guitar, Matt C says, and good night, boy off Reiko. I actually don't know what to do for the next I guess 4 hours. So let me think. What's the project I can do between here? Okay, I guess I can review things around my room. This is like a leap motion. I don't know, this is touchscreen, Core 2 Duo. Possible to find hard drive caddy. Do some push-ups. I can do like 2. I can do 2 push-ups. I don't own a rifle. Just thinking about buying like one of those, you know, that like it's called like a Heritage Rough Rider 22. But yeah, I don't know. Just react to YouTube videos. Am I just gonna make this a reaction channel? Fine. If you have a YouTube video, react to Luke Smith's Richard Stallman video. Okay, I could do that. And before I get like copyright struck by like Luke Smith, it's kind of funny. Okay, Luke Smith reaction, or Luke Smith Stallman. Before I pull it up. Stop asking me. Is it the stop asking me about Richard Stallman? Okay. Michael Valentino says, "Yo, I just woke up with a big question on my mind." Okay. His question is, Trip, do you still have the Apple monochrome monitors hooked up to a modern computer? Kind of. I use it as my Raspberry Pi monitor now. Okay. Here. Stop asking me about Richard Stallman. Oh. Well, my first reaction is going to be to Pavu control and realizing my CPU temperature is too high. I should change the ThinkFab settings, but whatever. We'll go take care of that. And then we'll open Pavu control. And we'll go to output devices. And why is it set to the Yeti analog speakers? Playback. Oh God. Consistency and his, I don't want to say morality, but a kind of he's the kind of guy who counter signals traditional morality. By he's one of those people well, let's put it this way. Open the door and let the cold air in. Right? We're at the top of the slope. Good, wholesome Christian people, no sex before marriage, no degeneracy, no porn, no any kind of stuff like that at the top of the slope. And then at the bottom, you have basically. Oh God, this is the microfiber. Okay, I'm actually going to throw this out. Sex really exists for your immediate pleasure, and anyone who comes in your way of that is like cool. There's no didn't consider social repercussions of something. As long as it's between two consenting people, not even consenting adults to him. As long as it's between two, consenting people, it's okay. Now. Here is my take. Well, now, he said particular things about the whole Epstein thing and stuff like this, but basically all of this is people being randomly stupid about the things he says. Now, when it comes to the slippery slope, I am at the very top says my glasses make me look kind of gay. I'm one of those people where I do not give the devil a foothold. Whereas Richard Stallman is the kind of guy who gives the devil every orifice of his body. Okay, anime? Yes, I have. It's actually a good anime. I would recommend it. Prides himself in his ideological consistency. I've watched this video before. Let's see if I remember it. That's okay. That's his pretty much like his gist was that he had some respect for Stallman because he took his beliefs to the extreme on the other end of degeneracy in terms of the sexual matters. But Fine. I won't smoke. Can't even find a lighter. Can I find a lighter? No, it's a Talon cigar. They're quite cheap, so I don't like spending money on cigarettes. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Oh, wait, actually, sorry, Zing2, you lost. Here, let me use this isopropyl alcohol as an ashtray. Okay, I'm not that self-destructive, but I do need to find an ashtray. I wonder how long this cable is. Could just go out. Oop. Oh god. I am not very strong. Oh. Okay. Damn it. Okay, there. I found a solution. But now I can't read the screen. Hey, I mean, that's kind of what I did with this build. I didn't really think of the fact that I had no charged batteries. So, what should I do about the Beagle boss? I don't know who that is. This stream is like, I don't, I don't know, the whole Stallman degeneracy thing kind of, I have my own slight issues with smoking, so. I mean, I guess it's better than his views, though, on the whole 14 age of consent thing. I don't really want to get into the whole Stallman type. Discussion. Check Discord. I don't really feel like it. I'm not using the cup. That was a gift. Let's see. It's a can of compressed air. Pretty much out. Okay. Ethernet cord. I don't know. My mobile server should be up actually. So I just rebooted the thing. Maybe I forgot to like configure it where like it runs at start. Okay. Well, it is bad, but like right now I'm focused on making an ashtray. Which ooh. There. Oh god. Too many cables. Oh. Okay. Hey, I'm not complete shit at configuring services. I mean, at least the web server's running. LibreBoot is the easy part. Making an ashtray seems to be the challenge. Oh, I mean, making the ashtray took like 30 seconds. God, I have so many things of empty electronics duster. Like, do you know how often I have to use electronics duster? It gets quite ridiculous. I made a Twitter one time just solely to react to, or not even react, I wanted to message Chris Chan. It's one of my projects I wanted to do for a long time is make a documentary on Chris Chan, before he inevitably gets committed or something worse. So, yeah, I haven't used it since he stopped accepting tweets or. I have a CNC machine. If you want to do a bezel and LCD screen mod, hit me up. Um, hmm. I don't know. Actually, there is one mod I've actually kind of wanted to do, but I would have to get AutoCAD out and some calipers. It's actually to do with the X200. So the main problem with selling X200s at this point isn't motherboard availability. It's the fact that I can have to construct them out of X201s plus parts. So if I were able to buy like a machined case, and theoretically you can actually make the X200 quite a bit smaller if you were fine with the small form factor and size. So you could probably trim like half an inch off of it. Um, yeah, I had one that I found in my garage because it probably wasn't. It was probably belonged to my mom's boyfriend or whatever. But I just, I mean, I used that one for a while. It just randomly died. It's probably like some Chinese one or something. Like ordered off eBay or something like that. So it was a little bit faster than USB 2.0. I mean, man. Have everyone asked me about like NixOS before, but I have not. I haven't used it because I haven't had a reason to like migrate from like Debian. I mean, I like having large amounts of packages that I mean, not necessarily all installed, but they're just available. I mean, compiling from source is convenient and it's really helpful for like smaller applications that I might want to modify or something like that. But then, like it's kind of nice also because Debian has a lot of documentation. It's debootstrap distroless. It does sound kind of neat, actually. Um, what I was actually interested in doing was trying to write like some sort of like a really basic like operating system type thing. Like I would essentially just write like an interpreter and use like some. Basically, you can actually make BIOS calls from in I think unprotected mode. Yeah, like the 16-bit mode, you can use some BIOS calls for keyboard input and a bunch of things like that, and drawing characters to the screen. So I could actually write like some sort of operating system that would just run in unprotected mode and then switch to protected mode and then switch back. I mean, it wouldn't be that efficient, but it would be kind of neat to make like some sort of C style syntax wise, but interpretive sort of thing that boots into. And it would be like kind of like one of those like 1980s like machines that just boot into basic. But Boy Off Reiko says, is Perl bad or good? Well, Perl is something I haven't programmed before. I programmed a very tiny amount of Lisp as a kid. Basic, of course, C++, C, Python, and Java, and C Sharp. So, I mean, out of those languages, I write most of my stuff in C and C++. I mean, if you consider like Bash, I guess Bash is a programming language, so I use that as well. And it's kind of like replaced what I used Python for. So, yeah, I don't know if Perl is would be considered literally Hitler. That sounds pretty bad. I mean, I feel like if anything's taking my computer to a virtual gulag, or well, actually, that's probably Stalin. It's I guess it'd be a concentration camp for Hitler. It would be JavaScript. I actually really hate the syntax of it. I think it's like everything's treated as an object, so makes stuff a little bit inconvenient sometimes, and it's not exactly that efficient. Yet it's still a Turing complete language. So like people have even written like x86 emulators in Java, which kind of makes me want to just make the most inefficient website ever. Which just like I'm just gonna pull the code for the virtual machine, have it like boot up into like some older Linux distribution, and then just have my website just displayed as text files. It'd be kind of funny. Probably cost a lot though, unless I was hosting it myself. Anyways, now that I don't look like a degenerate, oh man. Still gonna keep this stream going until eventually I will reboot that X200. But I guess in the meantime, I can set up the Raspberry Pi on that table over there while the battery's charging. If you're new to the stream, it's literally I'm just waiting on the battery charge to flash the latest version of the BIOS, and then I have to reassemble. I have plenty of extra screws, and yeah. Let's adjust this microphone a tad. I think it's this control. So where can I actually set up a Raspberry Pi on a laptop here? That's probably a question I should ask myself. That would be a good webcam view. I don't know. Set table. It's probably good enough. Yeah. So let's go set up a Raspberry Pi. I guess the first thing to do is figure out which exact 2 pins or 3 pins at this point came off. So I should probably have a photograph of this, but sometimes I have to I have to change the cords. I remember it was like 2 on one side and 2 on the other, I believe, for the little clip. So I'm just gonna give me some good guesses, but necessarily anything definitive, and then I'll just check them on the Lieberboot site. By the way, huh? Oh, Nikita Sakun says, "Good night, Trip. Please remember when you feel." Oh my God, Did, I kind of remember there's a programming challenge which is actually really easy to do in on 4chan recently, where it was pretty much just write an OWOifier. But anyways, good night, Nikita Sakun. And I did actually write an OWOifier, and it was definitely a waste of time. But it was only 30 minutes of wasted time. It's written in C. The annoying thing about connecting these is someone actually needs to put. Maybe I should actually make some better documentation for it, because they don't have the Switch 16 documentation up on the Lieberboot site, which makes it quite annoying, because you have to pretty much compare the Raspberry Pi pinout you have with the BeagleBone Black pinout, and then take that pinout and use the BeagleBone Black tutorial for the T400. I mean, I'm sure you could just look up the actual pinouts of the chips. I think I did that for the WSON chip 8 chip. I don't really feel like pulling up a manual right now, so especially since it's just two cables in question. So let's move that to the second window, move this down so I can still see, and we're going to type in Lieberboot X200. Let me fix the mic a little bit. Okay, so weirdly enough, I heard, I'm tempted to. I actually bought a low voltage X200 motherboard, because at the current moment, to get the best battery life out of my X200S, I have it run at 800 megahertz mode, which is actually fast enough, but it's a little bit slow. So I was thinking about just buying one of the 1.2 gigahertz ultra low voltage Core 2 duos you can put in there. But that's a mine. Most of the ones I'm shipping are the standard voltage. I do admire the ability for a 10-hour battery life. Oh my God, I did not realize Mini Free is taking a temporary break. That's something to talk about for a moment. Oh, here. Not to make a Leah joke, but I just gotta make my hair really fucking weird for a second. There we go. Gotta get the forehead in. Okay. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Leah Rowe, and I am the owner of Mini Free Ltd. Due to an insanely increased demand this year and a string of supply problems and understaffing, Mini Free is about 1 month behind on work at the moment. I apologize profusely if you've been unable to contact me. I'm about 1 month behind in emails as well as shipping. Oh my God, this isn't that interesting. Okay, orders keep coming in. I'm currently unable to fill them. As such, I've been minifree.org on hold for a while. I fully expect to bring back the company and that website back online in December 2019, but otherwise it'll be sometime in early January 2020. Trip code, do you listen to MSI? No, I do not. Did they ever fix the overheating issue with Raspberry Pi 4? I'm not quite sure. Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Oh my God, there's a current backlog of orders. If you have ordered from my company and your order has not been shipped, please do not stress, your order will ship. Oh God, this is Kickstarter tier. But if you tried to contact me but been unable to, I will get back to you with asterisks. the downtime, I will now be able to catch up on my work. When I finally bring Minifree back online, I will be scaling down my operations considerably and probably increasing prices a bit to offset reduced workload. I don't know. I mean, I was able to beat Minifree's prices, and I definitely had a very, very small operation. I think I only sold like I used to sell them on eBay, but in total, like I probably made about like 10 X200s. Uh, uh, oh God, I couldn't imagine someone being exactly worse than me behind the scenes. But I feel like the live streams are relatively open. I mean, in terms of personality. Uh, but I don't know. Lolcows kind of interests me. But boy, off Reiko, I guess. But I mean, it's mainly. I also have a weird interest in like serial killers and things like that. I think it's just weird psychology. Oh God, how did I rearrange my hair? Fuck. Yeah, this isn't gonna go back to normal. But yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly. The live streams are actually anything useful at the moment. This is probably what I don't know. How long did Wolf games go? So I feel like I've just kind of baited myself into doing like a 12-hour live stream because I didn't really prepare building a X200 quite as well as I should have because typically during like the downtime of like waiting for a battery to charge, I can just go and do whatever. So I don't really consider it in the build time. So, anyways, Libreboot X200. If you actually go and look through the Libreboot project, it kind of gets a little bit interesting in some of the models want to get support for. Like X301 and W700DS are on the list. And for those, I'm just kind of like, there's such a limited audience. Like, and plus, I've heard the X301 is actually rather horrible, so I've never really wanted one. Hmm. Who gets the clicks? Hmm. Uh, Gonna make a channel soon. Wonder if I can beat him. Do you mean me? Like, I'm not exactly like. I picked not exactly a very wide. A Wolfgang. Oh man, like he did some Linus Tech Tip type stuff, like the review on that Chinese processor and things like that. I mean, there's a few interesting things I could make like reviews of. I was thinking about just like widening it to older computers, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of fun. I'm running out of things to do in the whole ThinkPads area unless I start like reviewing more modern ones, which I have less of an interest in. Uh, like, um, I don't know. I mean, I could review this thing. It's kind of cool. It's like my little microscope thing. I kind of got into it in the lab video though. I was gonna make a machine that can run Linux, Mac OS, and Windows 10 with lib virtualization. Do the Onyx, and you'll get 1 million views 100% of the time. I don't even know what an Onyx is. GPUs pass through full like sell DDR4 within $100. Like, I don't use Mac OS, and I kind of hate Windows 10. So, like the Gemstone, like I'm pretty sure you're talking about some sort of single board computer. Like I briefly remembered the Onyx. Nope. What the? Maybe I should just Google what the hell is a Onyx. A dev box? What is a development box for, though? Like, I mean, like not like development box in general, but like you mean like there's like an SGI Onyx, like a Silicon graphics system. I mean, does it? I still haven't been able to find it. Is it like ONYX? That's like how I've been spelling it. It's ONIX? Onyx? Oh, Odroid H2. Okay. I thought, oh, you're talking about the SGI Onyx. I mean, like, yeah, I don't really have any interest in them. I have a Sun Ultra 80 already that I need to repair. I just need like $40 for the VBIOS chip. I might actually buy one. I mean, I've done like the little hack sort of thing on it and got it to post at least, but yeah, I mean, I already own one like not ridiculously expensive graphics sort of based computer from that era. I don't really need something that was even more pricey, and at least like the Sun Ultra 80, I can put like you know Debian Sid on it or something. Still live. Well, I'm like determined to get this thing like flashed and rebooted and done today. So, but I made the mistake of not charging the battery to update the BIOS. So at this point, it's more of like a Q&A, and for the next like hour, I'm gonna look up the Odroid H2. $111. It's kind of expensive, and their website is laggy. It's the website, man. I'm sorry. Okay, we're no longer loading the website. What video editor do I use? Well, I use FFmpeg and an Ncurses wrapper program that I wrote myself with autocomplete. The Panasonic 3400 milliamp hour ones. They're kind of expensive, Fat Elvis. But yeah, I just edit everything with a terminal application I wrote. T.Torchon says, okay then, question. Can you describe an attack that would be able to exploit the difference between blobs and no blobs, aka Boot versus coreboot? Well, I mean, the main thing with blobs is you actually don't know what's in them. So, and another thing is like the Intel ME actually runs like a full, like technically has full access to RAM and things like that. I mean, it uses, I think it runs like Minix or something. And you can use ME Cleaner, which effectively neuters it, but you still have a little bit of a like binary blob left over. But I'd be more worried about someone doing like a Spectre exploit, which would actually make like a coreboot X220 slightly more secure. But Another thing is like the main idea of running a blobless system is you're able to review all the code, but at some point I feel like it becomes a little bit of a silly idea unless you're like running something really security focused, like OpenBSD or something on that. And I feel like a difference in operating systems would make more of a difference than a change between BIOSes in terms of overall security, or just having the thing between the monitor and the keyboard be a little bit more security focused. But um, did I say VT6As? I mean, I was talking about Panasonic makes like a 3400 milliamp hour cell. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called, but if you just type that in, um, I mean, it's kind of expensive though, but you can actually make batteries that have higher capacities than the OEM ones, like quite like so typically like they're 2600 milliamp hours. Um, let's look at the pinouts. T Torsion says so. Cubes. Oh, I don't know much about the cubes. Like how it was written, but I mean, like, uh, I don't really use Triskel either, but it's based off Debian. I mean, how I do like web security is I essentially, I mean, I made a little video on it. It's like it pretty much will keep most people out. Just using pre-shared authentication keys and fail to ban. And then I designed my website so they don't like I don't even have PHP or MySQL or anything on there. It's just auto-generated on my own system. So the code itself doesn't really depend on anything except rsync to work. So um okay, let's go look at this. See if I got it right. So I'm on Pomona 5252. This isn't right. Damn. Okay, so the orange cable got unplugged. I guess it would have gone here, and also that pin's kind of tilted. And the other side is also flipped, so the blue cable goes over there. Well, the actual computer I use normally is like, is this better? You can still see it. But I typically, this one, the T500 I have has an internal camera in it. Um, but most of the time I use a Libreboot X200S, and there's no camera or GSM antennas and things like that, which is kind of nice. Oh, uh, yeah, I mean, like if I knew this was, I probably would have charged the battery, and this live stream would have been over by now. But the red one was unplugged. Oh God, I have to go back through here. Okay. You definitely don't want to get the power wire mixed up. So that's going to the right thing. I need to open another window. I don't know. I don't like telecom companies in general. I have a AT&T here, but they built a bridge that actually blocks the cell phone signal around my house. So it's actually quite annoying. But I don't pay for my phone service, so I'm not complaining too much. Um, I am starting to get kind of tired though, so it's like midnight. Okay, so power is going to the right place. We got that done at least. And then 17 and 21. So that is pin. God, do you want? I wish you could see the monitor on this, but this is kind of annoying. So pin I figure out how to lean this back. I guess I can scoot the back like this. But yeah, I have to compare the. Okay, so miso on here. Hey, what's up, the user? I'm doing a ridiculously long live stream because I forgot to charge the battery. So, how's your day going? Okay, so I need to check the orange wire. And the orange wire goes to pin. Uh, so I go here, check the orange wire. It's hooked up to no connect. That's not good. It should be hooked up to 18. And then I go here and check the Beagle board pinouts. And I go to 18, see it's pin 19 on the Raspberry Pi. Scroll up, see where pin 19 is located. That's where the orange wire should go. Orange wire is in the right place. Cool. Okay. Pretty much, I'm doing a LibreBoot X200 install. So essentially, you want to update the EC firmware because you're not able to do that from LibreBoot. So, and you're also not able to do it from Linux easily. And I'm sure there's some way, but so essentially, though, the Lenovo supplied BIOS utility won't let you install or won't let you flash the BIOS till battery's at 50%. So I've just been stalled. So at the moment, though, I'm making sure I'm double checking the pinout on my little Raspberry Pi setup over here before I flash the ROM. So, and then after that, I'm going to go set it up over there. But it's mainly at this point, I just want to have one continuous live stream where it gets done and built. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Blue wire. So essentially, here's the Pomona clip. In front of me, I have a pin out of the Pomona. Huh? Yeah, sure, why not? You could probably install it on a tank. I mean, like, are you saying like if it's like a tank is in weapon of destruction, there's plenty of room on the top of to do a LibreBoot install. And if you're doing it in on a tank of something, I mean gas tanks like those big tanker trucks, those are pretty big. But if it is just a literal tank, like not the military ones and things like tank of gasoline, those are completely Libra. They don't have any binary blobs. Hopefully, I mean they might in terms of you know, has like some sort of detection for like fuel levels. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired, so iced tea. Huh? Oh yeah, Raspberry Pis are proprietary. I have like the first one or whatever, but it's good to use for flashing. Um, I guess flash ROM through the GPIO. So I actually don't really use my Raspberry Pi for anything else, so it mainly just sits there the rest of the time. I did briefly host my websites in a Raspberry Pi, but the internet here isn't reliable enough for web hosting. So most of that explains the live stream random exit. But okay, 17 on here. Scroll down and check the Raspberry BeagleBone, the Raspberry Pi pinouts. It's 24, pin 24. Okay, that's correct. And the blue wire was the other one that got detached. So blue wire on here, it goes to pin 21. Go down here, and it's the same on the Raspberry Pi, and that is right as well. Okay, so that's all good. You can't reboot a T420S. You can coreboot it though, which essentially is reboot just with. Well, you can even. I mean, Snoop Dogg steals it. Oh man, I'm getting tired. Hmm. Hmm. So I don't know. This is kind of the longest live stream I did. I kind of feel like I'm on a like kind of road trip. Yeah, iced tea's pretty nice. I like unsweet iced tea, and I drink quite a bit of it. Weirdly, nowadays I also drink quite a bit of Mountain Dew. I like the Diet Mountain Dew, which is kind of weird. I mean, I think it's just 'cause I don't like the normal energy drink additives, and that's just caffeine and more caffeine than this. Also, Grub wants to know about the T420. I'll have to go grab one really quick. I don't think it's in working condition, but I think I have like two at this point. One of them is kind of silly because someone put an Apple logo on it, which doesn't really make much sense. Grub, would you want me to grab a T420? Um, but okay, T420. I'll just give a system spec cover of it. So it comes with a 1366 by 768 panel or a 1600 by 900 panel. They do offer similar upgrades like the X220 to a full 1920 by 1080 or even higher resolution panels, but they do require a little bit of work, including soldering for those. The 1600 by 900 panel mods, there is a Alienware display you can swap onto it, which is still a TN panel, but it's a much better TN panel. And the 1366 by 768 and the 1600 by 900 aren't just panel swaps. It's actually like a lid swap you have to do, which pretty much means I would be better off checking model numbers. They're also socketed, except the S model switch are soldered down. And since they're socketed, you can put in like i7 quad cores. I'm not quite sure about the heating issues with that. But yeah, brief summary of that. Working MSATA, you have a caddy that you can put like a I don't know if they made slice batteries, but you can put like extra hard drives and things like that. So you could have like 2 hard drives and MSATA drive. So it's actually a pretty neat system. I'd much rather have a T520 because you can get like the 1920 by 1080 panel right out of the box. There's also the T430, which you can do the swap with the T420 keyboard. Same with the T530. And that's all documented on ThinkWiki, even though that site's a bit frozen at the moment. But yeah, that's, I guess, the T420. Oh, also with coreboot on the T420, you can put in Ivy Bridge CPUs. So, yeah. Man. What time is it? Any other questions about like ThinkPad trivia, or maybe not trivia, but just I have been spending way too much of my life just on ThinkPads, but I can at least tell you about them. I am running out of things to talk about. So I don't know why the live chat's going really slow. So, I could start talking about contact cleaner. It's actually quite nice for projects. Sometimes when RAM chips don't work, you can actually like just spray this on the contacts in RAM, and you might find out your dead RAM is just a bit of a finicky connection. The user says many people state installing Wi-Fi drivers on Debian is a pain in the ass sometimes. What do you think? Their installer isn't written to be user-friendly for people that want to use proprietary blobs. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like their non-free ISO doesn't actually install the blobs on there for you. It just pretty much just has them in the little ISO for Wi-Fi, so you can just connect to a wireless, you can connect via Wi-Fi to do the rest of the installation. So pain, sure. Biggest pain in the ass? Probably not. I don't even use their installer. I just use debootstrap. I've been tempted for a while to kind of just expand upon my debootstrap script for I called it TARDS to make fun of Luke Smith's LARDS a bit, but actually make it into like a little ISO file thing. But I don't want to be doing constant, or not like, I mean, I'd have to be doing maintenance on it regularly. I have a version of it that's upgraded for Buster, as well as an i386 version and things like that. Anyways, though, Fat Elvis says T/W 540s are the last with replaceable CPUs. Well, yeah. I'm actually planning on doing a review of the 40 series. I bought like a scrap X240, T440, and I think it's T440S and a T540P. So I think that's like a good spectrum of that model series. Guitar Map C says this is why Nix is superior, less maintenance. I'm talking about like maintaining a installation script. So, and I mean, I do enjoy like doing a Linux rice, and my install script is quite useful, but I don't really want to be writing those all the time and maintaining them. I think you'd have to maintain any installation script. Anyways, I'm gonna go check on that. So if you don't know, there's my little other, there's two X200s up there. And we're gonna see what the battery's at. Try it again. Next. Oh, wow. It's letting me actually update it. Cool. So now we can get on with the build. Oh, back hurts. It does actually lag out a little bit, if you're wondering. I don't know why, but it does, so you do have to give it a second. I don't know. Well, we're talking about other projects I've had. I've always been like kind of wanting to make like a more modern day CPM style system, or not CPM, a modern day like Osborne or K-Pro type thing. So I actually got this little monitor. It's color, and it does have input on it. I'm not going to be using it for the Raspberry Pi, but I think it'd be fun to find some sort of like Power PC or like Ultra Spark board and kind of just put it in here. It'd be kind of neat. Maybe you'd put it like under and have like a slide out keyboard, and then you could just carry your little lunchbox computer around with glorious 640 by 480. Oh, I'm sorry, Guitar Matt, that you have to go to bed. Have a good one though. Sleep well, hopefully. Have a good night. Waiting on the progress for the install over there. And amber screen, that would be really cool. But no, it's just actually just full color. Guitar Map C says that's almost my oscilloscope. I mean, like, I do have an Apple IIc monitor. I should probably be setting that up actually. So let's set this up, because that's the area we're going to be doing our flashing. So put that stuff over here. Move our little Apple IIc monitor over here. And we're going to be moving the Raspberry Pi over here after we move the laptop. We have to wait for it to put the new OEM BIOS on first. And then we're going to move some of the other stuff laying around. Now, anyone wants some chips? I have a lot of extra Core 2 Duos. Seriously though, I've actually been thinking about starting to sell mystery boxes full of like miscellaneous ThinkPad parts and things. Like, they're not really mystery, but it's like, hey, I have all these extra parts for projects and my house is beginning to look like hoarders. Do you want some? I would probably charge like $10 plus whatever like shipping costs. So I have a lot of parts that I don't really need, because I typically take two systems that both don't work and make one working system. So ThinkPad booster packs. I mean, I could actually do it for a little bit, like ship out crates. So I don't know, or like, actually, I should probably say on my website at some point, like, could you build a 200 just from parts, like an X200? Yeah, I built 3 just from parts. No, you can't borrow my T500. I need it. It's the one computer I have with iced tea. Unsweetened iced tea from Bush's Chicken, which, I mean, their chicken's kind of meh. It's not like the best chicken place in the world. Like, I actually like Golden Chick more, but their tea's better. Well, I put it in here and I drink it. I mean, I could have drank like Mountain Dew or something instead, because I do actually like that. But I only like the unsweet or like the sugar-free ones. I don't drink sugared soda because I if the amount of like fluids I drink, like in terms of like iced tea, I can just drink it instead of water. And when you replace that with sugary soda, I'm gonna look very fat within a few years. So Diet Mountain Dew or iced tea. And that looks like it's almost done, but we're still waiting a little bit. I do have an extra T500, but actually, I might do like a T500 quad core thing as a giveaway at some point. Like, if I can actually like find some way to get more attention towards my channel. But my main thing with it is I'm concerned if it will survive shipping because I don't know the reliability of this. It's doing fine with my live stream, but I have no clue on reliability. I mean, it runs rather hot, but with ThinkFan, it's actually manageable. Like it's within temperature ranges. Are you charging at 1 amp? Oh no, it's starting. It's flashing. Fat Elvis. It's already writing to the BIOS. I'm waiting for that to finish. But that little patch cable inside, if it comes undone, it essentially bricks the system with the quad core in there. So if I sold one of those, I wouldn't want to deal with a return because it might be dead on arrival just because I've gotten a lot of, like I've had stuff packed well, and one of my items ended up dead on arrival. Keep in mind, like when I actually do ThinkPad repairs, or not ThinkPad repairs, but refurbishing for ones I sell, I buy like parts that aren't just laying around in terms of motherboards and things like that. Like the screens were from X201s I purchased, or had or already, and the motherboards were all pretty much new. So, except on like the 2.6 gigahertz one or 2.5, I got lucky on the eBay auction for that one. But yeah, I don't know. I buy new parts for those. But yeah, I might switch to like doing. Well, I actually bought like a few T9600 chips. Well, but Boy Off Reiko says, "Hey, did you know you can install Linux inside of Emacs, inside of Linux, inside of Emacs?" Well, do you want to know the even more nightmarish version of that? If that's true, you can install Linux inside of Emacs, inside of Java script, running a virtual machine inside of Linux, inside of Emacs. Be quite nightmarish. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to think of what to talk about. I don't know if I started like explaining data structures it would go over well. I guess there's only 11 people in the audience, but I don't know why it's taking so long to flash. I guess like it typically takes minutes. Programming block 100 out of 129. That Elvis says I'm mad. I do like the crazy scientist here. Mad. I don't know. I guess on Halloween once I went as Kim Jong-il when I was a kid. I'm part Korean. I just printed out his face and taped it onto glasses and walked around like that. Kind of looked like if you ever seen uh, Brazil, like the 1984 style film, kind of looked like the interrogator mask. It's kind of funny. Just wore like a green jumpsuit with that. I don't know. I think that's the only time I've went as a military dictator for Halloween. I feel kind of bad because I didn't get the cat ear thing for Halloween. So I normally buy those, but I didn't do anything this Halloween. Let's talk about the fact that you hate on rappers that twice as young as you, says boy off Reiko. I don't think there's that many like rappers that are 10 years old that I've hated on, or if I've ever hated on any rappers in specific in this channel. But, I'm not a huge fan of the genre, I would say. Like, I kind of like some NWA songs, but I don't really want to talk about rappers. I don't really know much about them. I mean, I kind of feel like genre-wise, rap is kind of similar to poetry in terms of the music spectrum, but a lot of it's not very good poetry. Uh, Trip Code diss track. Oh God, I don't know. I actually want to challenge Austin Evans to a cage boxing match. I don't like his channel. I don't like what he stands for. I feel like I don't know. Did Luke Smith ever work out his arms? So, or does he still have like the my tier arms, but like the I don't know, different body? Just grab some clippers. His beard is weird. Through talk from a MC paying millions of security a year. I actually I made an electric violin. I was thinking about doing a video on that. Like, it's kind of cool. You can play it in different ways than you can with a normal violin. At the moment, though, it's missing a bridge. I lost the bridge. Full, good, proper video on how to Libre boot. Annie Tio says, thoughts on Purism laptop. I'm not quite sure this is a good, proper video on how to Libre boot because I've just been sitting talking here for like an hour. Okay, it's still programming. Like a little thing over there. It's still programming. We haven't even got to Libre boot. We spent like the first 2 hours rebuilding an X200 while I was talking to people. Oh, okay. Thoughts on Purism laptop? Slightly better than System 76. I'll say that. Probably a bit pricey. But boy off Reiko says I used to play cello. It got me into guitar. I was thinking about learning how to play guitar, but then I realized I don't like calluses, and I was thinking, do I own a guitar? No. What do I own? A violin. Actually, two violins. So I took the one that was kind of beat up and I got for $40 and essentially just put the electric bridge on it, got rid of the acoustic bass, and kind of just took a beat up violin and made it into some little electric violin, which is kind of decent. Well, I don't want to just learn 3 chords. I mean, I'm pretty sure I actually know 3 chords, but it's just because most people own a guitar. And I've I can play string instruments. So, what? And Paul Patil says, "What do you most enjoy in programming? E.g., web dev, OS dev, scripting, mob dev." Well, I don't know what the last one is. I Okay, to be honest, most of the stuff I do is scripting and like user interface stuff for like end curses. And occasionally I got, no, actually, image, I did write a library for manipulating video or like images from like array, kind of just stored as raw image files. So that was kind of fun. Um, I was actually thinking, well, I was reading like some x86 assembly books, but I'm not really good at it yet. I was thinking about, well, apparently mob dev means mobile application development. So I guess I really haven't done any of that, but um, yeah, I kind of wanted to learn a little bit of x86 assembly and write like a bootloader or something, and pretty much just make a really, really simple interpreter, which I don't think would be too difficult. Like essentially, you just really need to implement goto and if and have it evaluate conditional statements. Um, but boy off Reiko's apparently got a guitar from his old man and is getting more. Um, this is, and I don't know much about guitars. Harmonic minor scale on the key of A. Uh, I mean, I'm trying to remember what most most violin playing is like D major, D minor, something like that. At least the easier ones. I kind of reached a limit in terms of how good I was at violin because even though I have very thin fingers, violins are very thin and high pitched and screechy if you mess up. So once it came to doing multiple, like playing on multiple strings, like two at a time, my fingers would not be small enough. Could you make your own compiler and assemble it by hand or with an assembler to compile your own compiler? Um, I don't have the knowledge at the current moment to make a compiler. Um, I guess you could like, probably figure out some way to string together NASM output, uh, but that's an assembler. I don't know. I mean, uh, TB says Dennis Ritchie did. I'm not Dennis Ritchie though, and also back then, I think he wasn't really dealing with his like complex hardware. I'm really impressed more of a compiler out of like Temple OS and the operating system. But anyways, though, what university are you attending and which major? Probably going back to Texas A&M in January. I'm a senior in management information systems and a cybersecurity minor. I have like pretty high marks. Yeah, I don't know. MIS, complete waste of time. Uh, all I learned was how to program C sharp, which was actually pretty easy. I think that's the only useful thing. And like some business classes, like management, legal environment, that's kind of useful if you want to write contracts. I'd say that wasn't a waste of time. Macro and microeconomics wasn't a waste of time. Management information systems, it's like business, IT, databases, things like that. let's check on this. And cybersecurity. That was just as I took a lot of programming classes, and it wasn't hard to make that into a minor. Yes, let's restart the system. Ugh, man. You should make a game in Godot. You know, I've actually wanted to make a game before. I mean, I think it's something that like carries over. Like, I mean, I've made like little like back in like oh god, probably like middle school. I did some game programming in like Java and C++, and I only made like 2 or 3 games. Like, I mean, I made like like basic kind of, but like in terms of original stuff. And the one Java game I made was pretty much just something that loaded an array from a text file, corresponded it with different tiles that you had to navigate through, and some of them moved. Um, I don't know. I mean, I might consider it. I don't really want to learn OpenGL just to write a video game, but actually, I have been. If I was actually gonna do a master's, I was between like computer visualization or cybersecurity. So in that case, I'd be doing OpenGL stuff. Guitar map. Oh, that was in response to Guitar Map C saying I should make an engine in Godot. X220 versus T440p. Do you care about Intel Management Engine and size? That's pretty much what I'll say. Also, a better, closer thing would be X230, but I imagine the graphics on the T440p, besides dedicated graphics, is probably going to beat that too. So it's really what type of computer do you want? I know the X240 is actually slower than the X230, I believe, because it uses like more power efficient processors, but you can put a 1920 by 1080 display on it a lot easier. Well, yeah, I mean, is it like a 2D engine or a 3D engine? Because I don't want to spend money on assets or make my own assets. I know Godot's the engine. Like, um, oh yeah, I also made a game called Iron Dome. It's probably really politically incorrect, but essentially it was like one of those dodge the thing games controlled by the mouse, except you played as a Palestinian missile, and you had to beat Israelis' anti-missile defense thing with the that's called Iron Dome. I wrote that as a joke in C++ kid. That was probably the most offensive thing I mentioned on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. My view, I don't know about the Israel-Palestinian stuff. It's like 3-day war. I don't know politics. Weird. It's 2D and 3D. Huh. Okay, I might check it out. Here, since the BIOS works on there, we can get rid of Windows now, and pretty much just let's go make a functioning computer with LibreBoot. Oh, shut this off. Also, between stages here, I'm gonna take a quick intermission because I drank way too much iced tea. I'll be like right back in like 5 minutes. Okay, back. So, yeah, okay. Let's get this done. We're about to do the reboot portion of it. So let's set up the Raspberry Pi. Oh, yeah, you should probably take the battery out of this before flashing it. Take the battery out. Go over here. Open this. Take our Raspberry Pi. Double check which side it goes. Oh man. Streaming, no, I will not do that. But Boy Off Reikos is grunge versus thrash metal. I'd probably go for grunge. Flash 136 says Kiss handles dependencies. Not quite sure how. You'll see on the repos. I'm a little confused on that comment. But anyways, though, yeah, let's go to figure out which way the power. Like I'm on the Weeberboop site to see which way the. Definitely okay. 3.3 volts, and that one's marked red. So. Okay. So the 3.3 volt connection faces the edge of the laptop away from the screen. And and welcome to the wait, actually I should probably put all the connectors in first, just because the ergonomics of this is quite inconvenient. I really should buy some larger jumper cables and like maybe set up a system that isn't a Apple II monitor plugged into an RPi. Okay, so this is the way it has to face. And with really short cables, you kind of just have to hover it, like where it's supposed to connect. So plug that in. Now, is it the red wire or the white wire from the Apple II? Appears to be the white wire. Okay, so we'll plug in the white wire here. Got nice and snug. And now we have to figure out a power strip solution. Okay, we got ourselves a power strip. God, hastily done. Power strip. And so that doesn't slide away. We need to find some tape of some sort. Tape. Red electrical tape will work for this. Duct tape would be better, but Okay. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna use Scotch tape. By the way, as an FYI, do not use Scotch tape as electronics tape because it's actually very easily flammable. I learned that a long time ago. But, you know, it's probably not a major issue with this thing. I just need to get this where it's not gonna like fly off. Huh? 1080p. I've always wanted a LibreBoot, but I've never had a computer that would take LibreBoot. I don't know. I would pick up like a T400. Those things are pretty cheap, or like a T500. Not a T400 if you want it to be like slightly mobile still. So, anyways, though, what am I grabbing now? You got the. Oh, where is that little power connector? It probably got buried somewhere here. There it is, right in the corner. So we got our power connector, and plug this in right here. And double check the 3.3 volts. Oh, my vision's so bad. There's this little plastic foil that's on top of the X200 motherboard, and if you actually want it to sit right, you don't completely take it off, you have to peel it back, and then you can put your Pomona flash clip on top. So just peel this film back. Put this flash clip on. It's actually easier to flash the motherboard sometimes when they're not in the case, but I don't know, this one's already mostly assembled. Let's put that there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I can't get on Discord. Or, I'm kind of busy at the moment. I have to finish this. UVC will help my grandmother's trailer Wi-Fi is too shit to keep up with this stream. I don't know. My Wi-Fi is pretty terrible on my end too. What? Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm rebooting a X200. I can't just like stop the stream. I'm busy. Ugh. I need one power cord. I don't know what. Oh, here's one. cord plug in. It's convenient. That's on. Now. Okay. We have light. I think. You know, it's kind of hard for you guys to see. But that monitor is on. I'm gonna turn up the contrast on it and see if you can read it from the video. My phone's been off for a long time. And then I remembered CRT monitors just don't film right most of the time. But you get some nice scan lines you can look at. I don't know. My phone's been off though. Like I ran out of power. I'm kind of lazy with charging it. Anyways, so it's plugged in. I'm sorry about that. And I'm root now, and now I just have to find my last. Yeah, this is pretty. Back. Oh god, and the connection isn't quite right. Let's see if it's like things hooked up on here. Hey, there we go. It's on there correctly now. But yeah, there's a lot of clip. Well, I'm happy to see you too. But yeah, there's a lot of clip repositioning on the pretty much, I guess, flash clip. Like, I mean, you don't normally see it in my normal videos because, I mean, who'd want to watch me try like 8 different steps to? Oh man, that's why I don't use the Chinese ones that often. But sometimes it goes from being like one try works to like no, like sometimes it's really hard to get the clip on there. But, yeah, then you just reboot the Raspberry Pi and try again, pretty much. I'm pretty sure there's like some service restart that's quicker. This is estimated 0. Oh, okay, we found a chip. Cool. Okay, so you can use the /c parameter to specify a chip. it doesn't really matter which one. If there's multiple possibilities, if it's like MX25 6405, 6405B, and things like that. So okay. Okay, I set the SPI speed down to 128. So it's going to take a while, but it's going to work with the finicky connection. So now I'm back to doing Q&A. And hopefully this will boot up and post in the Weaver boot after this. By the way, if you're wondering, Undefined was the one that made a lot of pictures of me in the TPG threads. But, yeah, and I said at one point that whoever, like, I got a lot of channel attention from that. So I said that I would send them a ThinkPad. At some point I will. It's unsweet iced tea. Okay, the chat's kind of, but anyways, does anyone have any non, like does anyone have any technical questions in the chat I can talk about, or like, I'm kind of just sitting here awkwardly till this finishes. So, you know, eek. Where did my ashtray go? Okay, any real questions? I cannot, but boy, offer. Okay, first off, what I think about Manjaro, it is, I've never used it. I mean, I'm not really, it's the one based off, like similar to Arc Linux, right? I cannot defeat Ganon, and dynamic mode decomposition of complex systems. It's kind of complicated. Oh man, there's too many questions now. What's your preferred Linux Libre-based distro? I just use Debian, even though it's not technically FSF approved. I was interested in retro computing, like, for a little bit. I mean, it's like I honestly have like some weird hard-on sort of thing for 90s tech. That's because I grew up next to an electronics recycling center, and they always had that stuff. So I used to find it kind of interesting. That's actually where I accumulated a lot of this, like that Apple IIe monitor or C monitor over there. And this is tobacco. I never did find the ashtray, which is kind of concerning at this point. Because I don't think I have another empty air canister to fill up with. Oh, there it is. I use Google. I barely use Facebook. I mean, how like you're on YouTube, you're using Google, at least Google services. And Facebook, I like just haven't closed down my account. I mean, that's pretty much it. So occasionally Messenger if I really like if I like lost my phone or something. I haven't made a post on there since I was like in 6th grade. Parabola Master Race? Uh, I mean, it's the one that's ARC based, right? So you got a lot of good documentation. And I mean, I think it's just a user preference sort of thing. If you rather use like something ARC or Debian based. So Jessica Ferrum says, time to chew ass and kick bubblegum. Dick kick 'em. Okay. Hey, it's on verifying old flash ship content. So huh. I don't know why like I I kind of understand why people use ARC, but I've just never really had the urge to switch. It's tobacco. Like, I'm kind of curious. I might have out of you in the audience that have like used ARC or use it. What caused you to like actually go for a rolling release kind of? Because that's my main thing with it. AUR. I mean, there's more packages with Debian that like you can actually configure apt to do like some of the testing packages on a non like testing system. I mean, how long do your installations last? 'Cause I'm a little bit curious about that because I mean I've been using my installation for quite a while and I have like Jesse packages on some of it. So at this point, apt is kind of just screwed up and it's having issues running the newer kernel, but still runs the RT kernel in Buster. Or yeah, it has some bullseye packages as well. So I guess maybe a rolling release you wouldn't have that issue. Um, Jessica Ferrum says I can stay installed until I get bored and start over. I've been meaning to do like a new installation, but that's just because like apt is kind of screwed up. This one has a fresh installation of Debian though. That's running pretty well. Um, I mean, by the way, to Nostalgia's comment about clothes, this is kind of how I normally dress. I mean, got my skinny jeans. Uh, yeah, it's not really for YouTube though. It's kind of weird. Hmm. Well, I mean, ThinkPads are kind of a meme, but they're actually good hardware. I've worked on Dells that are like in the business type. Uh, what is it? Enterprise sort of marketed, and honestly, the ThinkPads are a little bit easier to like reassemble, and they have a lot more like mods and things like that than the Dells. Though one thing that kind of interests me out of all this is I think someone actually got coreboot running on the socketed 13-inch HP. I can't exactly put my 2670 or something. I don't remember, but you can, since it's socketed, it'll actually run a quad core. But yeah, that laptop's kind of interesting, but it still has that 1366 by 768 display. Hmm. I do have like an issue with Dell desktops, though. They're actually my least favorite to work on in terms of having like proprietary connectors and things like that. Like, I actually went with an HP over a Dell because I was worried about power supply failure, and that was a HP Z620 back before I, you know, started using FFmpeg to video edit everything. Yeah, I would agree. Thought Elvis, this is kind of devolving quickly. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of at some point it's going to become morning in the European Union and Britain and stuff, and people will get up hopefully. But anyways, it's on verifying flash chip content, so this build's probably going to last for like probably another hour, and done it. The and I don't know. I mean, partly this is. I mean, I partly did this live stream as like. Well, I mean, I know Wolfgang failed at doing the live stream X LibreBoot X200 install, so I figured, even though I'm not quite like as good as doing live streams, and actually typically mine start plagued by technical issues, and it's partly due to internet speed and the fact that I'm being a little bit lazy, and I really should just be using like FFmpeg and using screen capture. At least if I do like a live stream that's programming, I'll do that. But I just been using the YouTube built-in thing. It's kind of. Oh, do you work with AWS, Azure, and GCP? I've used Azure before, and I kind of hate it. Undefined comments, not true, but I do like money. So, anyways, though, I do kind of have some dislike for Azure because it's not really. It's actually expensive if you think about like web hosting, especially in situations where it isn't necessarily like if you're a large company, it's an enterprise business solution that has a very annoying interface, but that's about it. I haven't done anything with Amazon Web Services, except one time I did a case study for pretty much Netflix with future competitors and stuff in business school. And pretty my solution to the issue that they were having with bandwidth was to implement some sort of shared, like when you're watching a video, you also host a video, which would actually kind of reduce the network load quite significantly, and then they wouldn't necessarily need to trade between any of the large cloud hosting services or things like that. But we did actually like review costs for things like that, and I think Amazon Web Services is the cheapest. But I personally hate Amazon, but it's a case study. It's what's best for Netflix and the little competition thing. And Maze, we got to the second round, like finals of it, where we have to redo the presentation, which was okay. I mean, I got to spill a. I got to accident. It was an accident. I accidentally spilled mashed potatoes on someone that was high up in BP. So I did not record it. I mean, it's actually not that difficult for me to talk in front of people like that. I mean, personally, I rather have not gone to the second stage of the presentation, but oh man, maybe I'm confusing this. We had to do this every year, junior and senior, for some classes. It was just Fat Elvis. Are you me? Damn, you just described my experience perfectly. Hate Bezos. Yeah, I kind of hate Bezos too. I actually don't order anything from Amazon or have an account. So, but he did manage to create a pretty nice vertical monopoly. If you want to talk about economics for a bit, I can explain a vertical monopoly pretty easily. So, if you're able to own pretty much every stage of the supply chain for a company, so let's say Amazon.com, right? That's a marketplace. You got your marketplace for online marketing, and you also have Amazon Web Services for online hosting, and you have a very impressive logistics system based off kind of slightly what I would call bad or immoral business practices, but it's quickly going to be automated. And then on top of that, you have your own like marketing service for websites. So at that point, you control pretty much everything from when a product manufacturer manufactures the product and gets it out of the door, pretty much. And because of that, you're able to get faster shipping times and things like that. And you're also able to lower costs for people that buy into the entire Amazon sort of ecosystem to sell their product, which makes it a lot more efficient than something like eBay. And with more control over vendors and things like that, they can make it appear a little bit less or more nice looking and things like that without having like potential scammers and other issues. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to do that. Fine. I forgot I still have like iced tea in here. They shorted Tesla? Did not know that, Fat Elvis. But horizontal monopoly is just the typical sense where you own all the companies. But who's oh man, I don't know who Sherman Clayton is. I need to keep up more business stuff. But mainly I just do. Oh come on, it's so. Oh god. Failed bite count. Yeah, this might take a while. Wait, are you talking to me? I mean, I'm just like waiting for that chip thing to write. It had a byte count error message, and I can't remember if it's a typical thing on the read. But I mean, worst case situation, I can just reflash it. It is set at a pretty low speed setting, so the connections were exactly stable. But a little bit contact cleaner on the clip and replace it. And I don't know. The thing is about like actually Libre booting and X200, it's like I said, like 3 to 4 hours of work and then sitting around for a long time. So waiting for stuff to happen. Right, well, I didn't work exactly great on the live stream, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I actually started this out with a build, so TB asked, how many ThinkPads have you Libre booted throughout your career? Oh God, hopefully this won't be my career. Uh, but I don't know actually. I've done a T400 once, T500 twice, X200, lots and lots of X200s. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, few T60s, X60s, well. So yeah, those are just software flash. Like it could just run like it takes two flash ROM commands. Um, huh. I'm getting sleepy. Nostalgia says the RMS philosophy probably makes you poor. Uh, I mean, I don't think even if I had I would actually disagree with that. I mean, in terms of niche markets, it's like I guess I could have like just done like a bunch of rebuilds for just standard computers where I pretty much just reinstall Windows. But it's just so boring, honestly. Like I volunteered at Goodwill Computer Center for a little bit to kind of figure out how to upscale this a tad. But one of the main like if I was actually going to write like an executive summary why my company or Renegade Computing or whatever or stuff isn't exactly profitable, it's partly due to a I'm not able to come up with inventory very often, like in terms of actually acquiring the parts to do it quickly. So, for example, that entire X200 rebuild thing was mainly with X201 parts and stuff individually ordered. And when that, the profit margin kind of shrinks significantly. Um, I don't know. Another thing is I really should have branched out on models. Another like the T400s and stuff. But the biggest thing overall is the work like actually becomes boring. It's repeating the same process over and over again, and I guess I've just kind of lost some motivation to do the same model every time, so to speak. It's not like I learn anything from it. I mean, it's fun to do like once or twice, but I don't know. I also tried to train someone else to help me, but I have with it to be a little bit quicker and you know be more fun during the kind of off time, like when you're just sitting down, seeing if the flash chips working and things like that. But eventually, like I am. Oh God, my sleeping schedule was terrible. I got up at 5. I don't even know why I'm sleepy right now. Libreboot Compact Presario from 1995. This is Jessica Ferrum. I don't. I do have a. What was it? I have a compact Armada 1750, which I do actually like. It has a working battery. I'm gonna get around to working on it, but I was thinking about just using that as like kind of like just to play around like older Linux distributions and potentially just putting Windows 98 on it with a dual boot sort of thing, or maybe even like there's something called Aros, which is like a AROS, which is like an Amiga research operating system sort of thing, and they don't have a lot of hardware support. I was actually hoping my A31P build would be able to get completed, but I just haven't been able to find a panel that's compatible with it, and that would be perfect for like that x86 Amiga sort of thing with Aros, because it actually fits like supported drivers and things. Pretty much everything except the Wi-Fi card is supported, and you can actually put in a different Wi-Fi card through some sort of modding. I forgot what exactly you had to do, but Jessica Ferrum says Pentium laptops are the perfect retro gaming computers, especially with a sound card. Um, Rain Dog's data log says he's not a fanatic or a radical. He just points out what's wrong and stands by his opinion. God bless RMS. I do like RMS, but I don't know. Don't want to get into that debate right now because I don't think he did anything wrong this time, actually, but he doesn't really understand the current political atmosphere. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think of exactly what to talk about instead of the kind of Jessica Ferrum and Nostalgia's kind of argument over GNU. I mean, I haven't actually. I heard Cling you could actually use like you could compile interpreted C, which actually seems kind of nice. This would help with the or not compile interpreted C. God, I'm getting tired. You can interpret C, which is typically compiled. So with that, it's actually, I mean, it does seem kind of interesting. Is that could GDP or whatever the typical C debugger is or C++ debugger is a little bit kind of hard to use, and I've just been like inserting like C airlines for C++ whenever I have like a big seg fault or something. Nostalgia says Ubuntu is getting bigger than I thought in the server market. How do we control this madness? I mean, honestly, like if it, I mean, I don't really care that much. Like, I wish they would. Canonical has had some like kind of sketchy practices, but I mean, like Fat Elvis was saying, Red Hat was a thing, like, or is a thing, and I generally don't hear of that many people talking that much shit about Red Hat, even though it's owned by a company and the whole providing service for their software is the company model, which is kind of interesting. So TB, I'm out, folks. Best of luck on the rest of the Libre booting process. We'll have a good one. I'm just gonna actually restart this. So, let me see here. Oh, okay, no, this is actually normal. It's just the reading speed, write speed's really slow. spent time getting an RHTSA cert, and Ubuntu gets this big. Oh, that would make you not like it, I guess. Personal vested interest. Oh no. They use Debian in the server market. I don't really use Ubuntu that much. But, oh. I did not anticipate the time it would take to flash this. Or really, I don't know, I guess like, what is this, like hour 4? I mean, the connection wasn't secure, so I put it on really low SPI speed and it got recognized after that, but now I'm just sitting around. Rain dogs, data logs. Oh, hey, I was about to build a PC without a hard drive. How's your experience using RAM instead? Got lots of that, no HD. Do you mean like booting off like a USB stick and having like a RAM drive or something? It's like a really confusing kind of comment. I mean, you have to use RAM, and pretty sure that's like. I mean, I would just get a. Oh, USB to like a virtual RAM drive. Okay, that makes more sense then. Okay, so I honestly I would, unless you're trying to have like some portability, like where you can just take out the USB stick, plug it into another computer you're using, and have it boot up. Um, I don't think I'd go with that. I have at one time kind of like implored like a sort of idea, it's kind of something similar to that, but using like using a hard drive, a properly sized one, something like a 4 terabyte drive, and a system with like at least like 32 gigs of RAM, preferably like 64 or something, and using some sort of software to like pretty much sync it up to a different image on the drive that's not currently being used, and then use like dd commands to like restore it to RAM and things like that in case there's an issue. I mean, it'd be pretty good for like uptime, but I don't know. I mean, you're going to be limited by USB 3.0 and the type of flash drive you use. And some of the cheaper flash drives, like, it's actually just not acceptable. Like, I've got some. I mean, I guess that free thing will load into RAM, but for what you actually want to store data wise, I mean, you're going to severely limit yourself unless you have like a really nice flash drive. And then like, why not just spend like $5 on like a 64 gigabyte? Like I spent $5 on a used SSD before. I'm sure you can get a hard drive pretty easily, probably even for free if you know where to like if you actually just spend the time looking. Um, I don't know. I mean, how are you on here right now? Are you on a phone? Just wondering. I mean, like if this is like your only computer, or is this like a project, or um, huh? Oh God, I'm getting kind of bored. Okay. Hmm. I don't know what I've been. If you have a bunch of old systems, I don't think the USB approach would. I mean, I guess it'd run live on RAM, but how old? Like, talking about like Core 2 Duo or like Pentium 3? Huh. Why not try like network boot? Like, I haven't done it before. I was thinking about setting a system up like that though. You could, oh, Gen 3 i5. Just sell them. You make a lot of money or make like a cluster. Like, honestly, if you just took those Gen 3 i5s, like, put a $5 license fee, make like a Clonezilla server, and just copy everything over, like, for like, and put a Windows 10 key on each for like $5 a pop. And since they don't have hard disks, you can just, instead of just buy like the cheapest hard drives, like used 500 gigabyte drives, something in a lot auction. You probably spend like maybe $200 in total for all the, if you have like 10 or 20 systems. And well, I mean, probably like 10 systems, but, and then you could just relist them each for like $150. Maybe more if you stuck in like a little like old GPU that looks a little bit flashy and performs halfway horrible. Nostalgia says if you have a network of employees that don't know Linux and you need shared resources across the network like printing drives, etc., how do I not use Windows Active Directory? I mean, you don't really, it depends on what the employees are actually doing, I guess. Like, I mean, there's like LibreOffice and things like that. Not really, I mean, Windows Active Directory lack of knowledge actually got me out of a job one time, but it kind of made me upset. I imagine it's not too hard to get certified in that. I mean, your main concern would be getting like upper management, or not even upper management, but like whoever's in charge of like management to agree to, is there'd be a lot of downtime with like switching the system over. Um, oh, no problem, Rain Dog's data logs for the net boot idea. Okay, I'm gonna assume nostalgia's comments are kind of just troll sort of comments with the bank thing. Uh, I don't really. Hmm. Hmm. Trying to think what I could do in the meantime. Um. Does anyone like? Trying to think. Uh, I don't know what IDAP is. Um. Hmm. Okay. Maybe I don't know what to exactly talk about at the moment. Hey, anyone have a discussion topic? I mean, if you just, huh, that's kind of neat. Another take on Active Directory, but OS agnostic. Huh. Unraid or NAS? Um, I don't know. I was thinking about setting up like an actual network attached storage system, but the SATA card I bought was not compatible with the CPU I used. It's too old, so I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I think I could just use a Core 2 Duo, but Ideally, I'd want something like I have about like 8 terabytes worth of like drives laying around. Or actually 12 if you count like the USB external one. So I actually looked up disassembly videos, though I can't convert that to a standard like laptop drive or something like that. So I was just kind of looking for something that's relatively like just laying around, and unfortunately I had K62 parts, like socket 3. I think that's socket 3. No, not socket 3, socket 7. Socket 7. I'm getting kind of tired. So pretty much like on a like it wouldn't load the BIOS for the SATA card, so I couldn't boot into it. It seems a little bit too slow in general. I mean, I was expecting it to be slow, but you kind of see all these things like now with like routers with really laggy interfaces and stuff like that. I imagine I could deal with. Rain Datalog says set up an intranet site that exposes files, plug it into IDAP. Well, intranet's kind of like company's internet. It's not like actually like anyone can access it. Um, I mean, I don't really know a lot about the whole Windows side of thing to propose a system like that. And personally, I mean, if it was a startup, which is the only type of company I feel like you could do like a radical change just instantly with that, because you have to consider like employee retraining and things like that. I don't understand why you couldn't just use like something like LibreOffice and like a shared network drive and just write your own backup software for it and things like that. Or, I mean, I if I was running a company, I much rather use like Google Docs over like some sort of weird Active Directory system if it was like just for like plain text type, data. Just because out of the two, Google Docs would be a little bit from your own device sort of thing. And but Boy Off Reiko says, also, my mom cut my hair 2 years ago, so I have not cut it yet. It's almost on your level. If I go another year, it may be on Dave Mustaine's level. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Um, I like my long hair though. Yeah. God, I'm getting bored. Like, I'm just really like. So yeah. There's more people now. How's everyone's day going? I'm kind of just waiting on that thing to finish flashing. It's set at a very low SPI speed, but I'm planning on just having more caffeine, uh, talking. I'm sorry that Nostalgia's girlfriend cheated on him. Enjoying the UK weather, says Gary Bennett. Well, that's nice. The weather in Texas is actually decent today for once. Raindog Data Log says, I'm just learning that ecosystem too. Nostalgia, luckily, I'm just writing C sharp, not writing authentication. How long have you been stuck with enterprise problems? Oh, that wasn't about his day, but um, I've done C sharp. At least it's better than Java. That's all I'll say about it. What GFX driver are you using on your X200? I Libre booted mine and don't want to take Intel stuff on there. GFX. Well, I mean, I just use the Intel one. It's open source, and they have like in terms of like free software. drivers, Intel is actually pretty much the best. You can install like more like you can build like Intel's one if you want to go more proprietary. Um, but I think you're fine right now. Um, um, yeah, let me check on this. Just appears to be just rather slow. It's kind of odd. Okay, the clip got slightly unhooked. It's just fucking long. 12. Okay. The clip got unhooked. It should not take this long, even with like 128 as the SDI speed. Hopefully I didn't knock it over. This shed like captures vibrations quite well. But yeah, I set it to 512 and should be going quite a bit quicker now. Oh man, but boy off Reiko says he learned about the secret cult of Cthulhu, and now they are after me. Okay. And then Rain Dog Sadalog says if you see Tom Cruise, just run. Well, don't make a Scientology joke then. But anyways, yeah. Oh, I should probably work up some like I should probably work out some sort of a better flashing system than this. Trip. What? Okay, that boy off Reiko says me and my 7-year-old nephew have been playing Fortnite and it's really fun. I'm sad I don't hate it. Are you gonna do the like Fortnite dance thing? Sorry. Like a robe or a trench coat. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're just having fun with your nephew. I mean, think of it like that. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a completely awful thing. Okay, yeah, I am awkward. I've been talking for like 5 hours. Pretty sure this is like the longest live stream just because like normally when this happens I would just go out and do something else for the time being. Well, oh cool, it's a racing and writing flash ship, so it's actually going pretty quick this time. But yeah, normally I would just kind of do something else, see if it works, come back. I am it's on my like my Discord info is like on my kind of like my website somewhere under contact info. I actually really need to write up that T500 translation. Well, I mean, like it's already written up, but like I need to pretty much just transfer that from like a PDF to some sort of like HTML document sort of thing and put it on my site. I might actually redesign my website slightly. Oh. Actually, kind of think of it. Let's check out like ThinkPad General. I don't know. Sometimes go on there. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes it's not interesting. Maybe I should start an image board again. I don't know. It's been a long time since I messed with that stuff. I think it's more of community building than software, though. I think Pat General. Okay, 244 replies. That's horrible. Second comment down is I'm so lonely. That's actually pretty sad. Should I get someone's wondering if they should get a spec'd out 3K T540p for 400. So I'm worried about the fact that the panel datasheet shows a backlight PWM value of 0.5 kilohertz. I mean, in terms of like displays, I would just actually just do like anecdotal evidence or things like that. I personally don't have much preference in displays other than like resolution and size or like aspect ratios. So I'm perfectly happy sitting over here on my 1610 TN panel. I just got my E490S. Someone's asking if they put stickers. I do put stickers on some of my ThinkPads. I typically include like 2 stickers when I ship them out. E500 for cheap. I don't know if I'd like an E500. Oh, it's a Yoga. Oh, it's 200S. I like X200S's with the 1440 by 900 panel. Scroll to the bottom and refresh. Okay, that's what I'm doing. What's the best bang for my buck 2.5-inch SSD to put into an X220T? I'm honestly like I like PNY SSDs. I typically just look up if they have like faster than like what SATA 2 can support. But on the X220, I think do they have SATA 3? It's been a while. Someone posted trip code. Why are you looking at me? Because you literally told me to scroll to the bottom and refresh, and that's what I did. Let's see if this. Oh, flash verified. Okay, that took way too long. The connection broke the first time. Probably would have caught that, but anyway, so let me rotate this over and let's see if it boots up. So let's go over here. We're gonna go type in sudo shutdown 0 and wait a second or two. Wait for it to go. Turn this off. Turn the monitor off. Go over here. Take the flash clip off. And we'll go over here and plug it in and press power button. Oh, it's auto starting. And we got LibreBoot. Man, my webcam does not have good image quality, but we got LibreBoot. So let me just turn this off again and finish actually putting this back together so this live stream can end. Okay. At least now that I have something to do and talk about, it won't be like just, awkward questions and comments for an hour, but not that all of them were awkward. I actually enjoyed like a lot of the conversations and things like that, but yeah, I'm not the best at keeping a constant entertaining atmosphere for 5 hours. And even though I don't really, I don't know, I don't feel like I have the most entertaining YouTube channel out there. But you know, I try to at least like keep it interesting for live streams and stuff. Hey, so I'm putting the CMOS battery back. Actually, I think this is the one off the X201, but either way, it is installed. We kept most of our cable management from the previous segment, so we don't actually have to redo that. But we should probably finish putting in all the screws. So, I don't know. Like, I'm on some builds for personal usage, I'm like, okay if there's like a missing screw and it's not really too structural, but small chance I might be selling this, not quite sure. Okay, I probably am going to sell it at some point, but I'm not quite sure on the window for that. Okay. I feel disappointed by the climax. Well, I mean, it took too long. The end of this was like, what do you think was going to happen? I was going to Libre boot a X200. I've done this before. Okay, will XF86 Video Intel support the X4500 MHD on a 200? I don't know. Like, look up the package details. I'm sorry, like, I'm pretty sure if that's just the standard Zorg stuff that's included, because it does sound like the standard package that's included by Zorg. Like, yeah, it should work, I think. I'm a grown. Oh, but it did definitely take longer. Give it that. Huh. Keyboard on head? I'm confused. Like this? Wait. Someone, Creamy Pasta said keyboard on head. Oh wait, probably should just touch this to a metal object before the laptop. I'm always afraid my hair is gonna like like ESD something to death, like electrostatic. Just make sure I got all my screws. Looks like I do. All the screws have been got. I'm gonna put this in here. And now we're gonna just simply add a mouse pad that is next to a one mouse pad and just run the RAM cover. So I should some of this done here. This looks like a mouse pad. It's not next to a one. Oh, it's slightly. This one I'm actually gonna use in my own build. It's slightly damaged. So don't use this one. I gave my shot at plastic welding, cracked one, and it didn't work out very well. But I should have. Oof. Did I forget to bring it? I mean, it would be in the other room, but I got the RAM here. Okay, I'll be right back. And then we'll be done. Okay, we got this out, and we're ready to continue. Just have to figure out how to open this. All bubble wrapped. Hopefully they didn't ship me. Hopefully they shipped me the right item. I think it's the right item. Sometimes eBay sellers get stuff wrong. Kind of inconvenient if you're not like instantly using the product. Yeah, I don't know. I think they have a different one on the X. Oh, what? Oh, this one's been through some stuff. So this is a flat one with a Core i5 sticker. That's not accurate. So I don't think they made X201s without the mouse pad. But, it does seem to be in good condition rather than the slight mislabeling. Of course, this thing won't be able to run Windows anymore, so might as well take that off. And I don't really like the Lenovo Enhanced Experience sticker. I'll take that off too. And there's an Core i. Oh my god. Intel stickers are the absolute worst in terms of like fingernails splitting and peeling them. Okay, maybe it'll just be a Core i5. That's how it works. That's why I put a Ferrari sticker on my ThinkPad. It goes fast. Oh god. That Sonic movie looks terrible. I don't know. Sonic, but I didn't know they could. Whatever. There's a reader on this one. I generally don't use those, but it's on there and I'll install it how I would typically install it. Oh, let me find. I think there's a plastic spudger over there. Well, no, I mean, there's an Asus C201 that you can reboot, I think, and there is, and there's a few, like, what would you, like, there's a few motherboards for, like, desktops and stuff that are rebootable. I've been tempted to get one of those, but, occasion never arrived. There's also a few server boards. Oh god, the sticker's like just permanently stuck. I'm trying to remove that like i5 sticker. Maybe I should just put like remove a Core 2 Duo sticker and put that on top. Maybe this will help. Contact cleaner is kind of like a mild, sort of like it dissolves stuff like this really easy, but it's not quite like brake fluid where it just dissolves for everything. So it's pretty good for this type of stuff, so it won't dissolve the plastic. See if I can get some of that under there. There we go. Goodbye, i5 sticker. Hey, guys. Now I'm an Intel Core i5 system with vPro. Contact cleaner. Now I'll get the magic eraser out and we'll just go like this a little bit. And voila, magically erased with contact cleaner. But yeah. Okay, now back to the build. So it's kind of, this one, I don't really like these things. It's like, I don't actually know anyone that uses these on Linux or on Windows, really. But the little fingerprint scanners, like, can be a little bit annoying to put in at the same time. But typically you put the mouse pad on first, but I might have to take the keyboard off. Oh, god damn it. I got shipped the wrong cover. I think. No, it's aligning. It's just slightly. The keyboard sensor on here is not quite long enough. Not quite sure what to do about that. Kind of weird. Maybe I snap this in all the way first. Oh, I forgot one last thing. We gotta take out the Intel card. Goodbye, Intel chip or Wi-Fi chip, and say hello, Astro card. Where are you? We got our little free, no blobs required Atheros card. Ordered from quality sites like eBay. An art run by Jeff Bezos. Now we just need to screw it in. Oh, I have a Lenovo ThinkCenter here, it says Kali Yuga, but I don't know if you can leave reboot those. Oh, you probably can't, but you might be able to swap out the motherboard with the Libre bootable one. Like, I mean, those ThinkCenters, like, how old is it? If it's like one of the Pentium 4 ones, that might actually be worth doing. It'd be kind of a cool build. Like, I've kind of wanted to sell systems like that with like a Core 2 quad, but it'd be a little bit hard to put in a graphics card with and still have GFX like iNet on it. But I imagine there's probably some sort of solution to that. What the? I'm just kind of beginning to wonder what system this is for. I feel like they let me look up something really quick. I do have another one, but I just see if the X201T has a mouse pad. It does. So what the hell is this? It doesn't fit on here. And it doesn't have the rough corner of, see like what the X200T looks like. No, it doesn't have the center insert slot. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, let me just get this back in view. Plan 9 ports works on OpenBSD. Huh. I don't know how, I've never really, I guess I tried 9WM, but that was about it. I haven't really tried most of their tools. Also works on Linux too. Okay, put the speaker in. Nice and snug. Now, this thing is kind of an issue. Because it doesn't appear, it appears to be slightly, like ever so slightly too long, or maybe it's just like, there's just something in the way. No, it's going in there. There we go. Okay. Shouldn't be that hard to. Okay, I'm gonna figure out what exact thing that's for later. I know I think I had a. This fits. I want to just yank one from here. Right. This one also doesn't fit. This one. Okay. So I'm not quite sure what type of like system this is actually for. It doesn't really fit at all. So that's kind of bad. I do have one other. I'll be right back again. And before I lose like my very small amount of remaining audience on here. Okay. Well, the nice thing is, at least this one says Centrino Duo on it to begin with. Wait, was I putting it in X201? Wait, no, that one's from the X2. Just look pretty damn similar, though. Let's compare it with this one, which I actually know is from like an X2. They all look the same. Should go back on. Okay, that one went on. So, okay, I'm kind of happy about that. And it winds up. Not quite sure what the other thing was, but whatever. Only 1 out of 2 is the right. I don't even know what part that'd be from. Maybe it's just like, it could just be like a Chinese manufactured one. It's like slightly off tolerance or something. So weird. So I know you can buy them from China, so I don't know if they ever. Wait a second. Okay, so let me just do like one quick comparison. Okay, so here's my like plastic welded one that I know is like legitimate. And here are the 2 I ordered off eBay, which, okay, well, here, and I gotta take it off because the tolerances are kind of sketchy. But this is the one I ordered off eBay. So the scanner here is black, which is fine. I never use them. And on this one, it looks like, like an actual scanner. And then on here, the problem is if you look at the back of these, this is about this size, but this is this size. They're different. Like it has a different size scanner, which kind of makes me wonder, what do I do at this point? Do I like just electrical tape and stuff the wire? I guess that's what I kind of have to do. I would use this one, but it's like on the edge, it's bad plastic weld. So I don't know. I guess that's what I have to go with. Slight blemish, I guess. Let's grab some electrical tape. Put the little magnetic sensor that's been blacked out anyways, and then probably from a different model back in the thing. And yeah, I don't know. Looks like I've slightly, or maybe it's in a different location on the board. Like, it's like hard to believe I would get like Tooch. No, that's where it goes. I don't think China. Your clones are not exactly the best. Oh, God. Yeah, this is terrible. Okay, something's just up this. You know, I kind of wanted to sell a bunch of these. You could put like an IBM logo on it. Probably sell them. This is kind of upsetting. Multiple levels. So, what do I do with this one will fit? Wait, no, this is the actual one. Oh. Okay. It might be possible to replace the weird fingerprint scanner with the other one. I might do that at some point. Okay. something at some point was manufactured with slightly different tolerances than expected. I think I can get it to go on here. And it fits. It's just kind of awkward to place in. Kind of a shame. Otherwise, this would be like near perfect. Boo, boo, China. Hey, I'm gonna go take a look. You know, I just feel like an idiot sitting here, fumbling with stuff that doesn't work. Okay, this one actually has the right sensor. Okay, that's nice at least. And it doesn't look like it's been... Okay. Yeah, and the genuine Lenovo one just snaps on although the corner's chipped. Okay. That one had a physical gap in the keyboard, like between where... So whatever. This one's having a chipped corner. I will have to live with this. This is upsetting, honestly. And okay. And after you fumble with a horribly made Chinese part, you put on like the actual genuine part, and you screw everything back together. Oh man. So let's screw everything back together, and then forget that I spent like 15 minutes trying to make like an off-tolerance plastic casted or whatever it is piece fit in my ThinkPad. Okay, and then you just kind of have to put in all the screws again, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it just takes like a little bit. And this should actually look pretty nice aside from that corner chip, but that Chinese, I mean, it has to be a clone. It just doesn't, there's just too many things wrong with the piece. Like, I mean, this one, like the whole like this thing being like literally blacked out, the tolerance is not actually letting you put the thing in, and this spring getting kind of twitchy by barely hitting the speaker. So whatever, that one might be salvageable, but for this one, I'm just gonna go with the chip plastic. It's OEM. So that fit on there just right. Like they're almost new or something, but then like if you think about it though, this case had like perfect tolerance for everything, so maybe it's just cleaned up. Or maybe it's just the fact that the stickers have been removed. I don't know, it's kind of pretty. New rubber stompers. Take this out. A few more screws. I think we need to get the ones that hold the display on in the back. Oh. Oh, it seems like people stopped commenting. Kind of set, but I don't even know if I'm like this part's live. I mean, at least we got to the livestream thing. I don't know. It's gonna be done in like a little bit though. Like pretty much we're here right now. Got a few more screws in the bottom of the case and it will be done. Oh, one already has this. I don't know if you're wondering, like for some reason I haven't been able to see the chat or like move. I don't know, maybe like no one's on here anymore. I don't know, it still says there's like 19 people, but I'm not quite certain. So whatever, I guess like finish the build. I mean, sorry if I'm missing comments because of that though. Yeah, okay, gonna go look for a nice bottom panel. Into the washer. Oh, yeah, this will probably come with one, didn't it? Just yank one from. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. It's a meh condition, but whatever. Oh, yeah, it's had connection problems at this point. I'm a little bit worried now. Huh? Oh, no, it was actually like a read error because the connection wasn't secure. Yeah, sorry, I think I just had some connection issue for a little bit because like, I mean, honestly, I could probably get 2 done in a day. It's just that like there's like a live stream sort of thing, so like I have to kind of pay some attention towards that, and like I can't actually leave. Reboot does actually boot up faster than the OEM BIOS, but like I think I got my system to boot. Like I got one of my Reboot systems, like the 2.5 gigahertz one, to actually boot faster than a fucking MacBook Air, new one too. But I had to disable a lot of services with like in System D, and it was like about like, oh yeah, I also did the probably not the best thing to do, but set the grub time to 0 in Debian. Fat Elvis, what are you talking about? I'm back. Sorry, there's like some connection issue, I think. What do you mean I can't have a non-zero exit code? Like, I mean, I can have like an error message. Like, I mean, typically non-zero is like if it's like 1 or something, isn't it like an error? Oof. And leave Rob from here. Because this one actually had an operating system on it. Get a little 120 gigabyte solid state drive. I have no clue what's on this thing. Hopefully it's Linux, because otherwise it's not going to boot up. I imagine it's Linux though. Probably some sort of Debian. And okay, this way. For some reason, so something's not right here. That shouldn't have popped out. Fuck. Something popped out there. Oh. Yeah, this screw isn't for This is what happens if you like mix your screws up in a giant cup for different models. You get one that's slightly too long and it pops a piece of plastic out. You have to sit there kind of just... God, please don't tell me you have to take out all the screws. Fix this. Oh, I do. Wait, no, it looks like it's starting to come out. I really need like one of those like tweezer sort of things. Oh yeah, but I mean like 2 hours of it has just been like sitting around, you know? It's not like really that intensive work. Label the screws. I mean, honestly, if I just have them in categories by each laptop, that would like cause this not to happen. But I kind of just did a really quick cleanup of everything. And because of that, I got a few of the screws that are different types mixed together. So I have to remove the keyboard on here. That should be pretty straightforward. So and all of the ones that were here came out except one, which are culprit. Oof, that is not a good noise. Okay. Fuck. Screw. I don't like it. It popped out in like a weird way where it's kind of hard to remove the keyboard now. I have to use that spudger. Use that spudger anyways. The blue one. Spudger. Everything's removed. Okay. Got it. I'm getting kind of tired. My work is getting kind of sloppy now. So, one day, okay, so yeah, let's find the proper screw for this. Oh great, the screw didn't come out. How do I actually remove that screw? It's like halfway in there. It's the wrong threading. Got it. Okay, now we can screw this back together. Put the operating system back in on the hard drive, not the Windows one, but the Debian GNU/Linux one, and hopefully it'll boot up and everything will work right. Oh, man. Oh, let me just double check these. Okay, sleep threading. Now, hopefully this will go in now. So the plastic isn't wedged up. And then I can go rest. It slips in quite easily now. We just put this over here. Put this in here. Hopefully we have an operating system on here. Oh. And actually the top on this is rather clean. It just has some stickers. So I'm tired. Where did I put the battery for this thing? There it is. Here's our battery. We can just oh god. I don't know. Sorry about your top cover. I wish I used the right screws for one part of this. Damn. I guess the one good thing about messing this up that I've done a bunch of times. I don't know. I'm starting to get kind of sleepy, and I start paying attention less. And I don't know. It's like 2 o'clock here or something. And it's typically bad when you mess something up 3 times in a row. Like, I mean, once is okay. Twice, okay. I guess this is twice. Mess this up twice. I mean, it's not really like damaging anything. It's just like wasting time. Okay. It wasn't the same screw. It turns out I put in a different screw, slightly too far. It's like I think I was supposed to use the short ones. But yeah, can fix this. Hopefully without much difficulty, just by taking out one screw here and replacing it with the properly sized one. Okay, that one is the wrong one. And look for some... Oh, it's short, like this one. Oh. Grab the screws from the floor and proceed to re-screw in all the screws. Wait, that wasn't it? What the hell is this from? I literally... Oh. Okay, culprit. I didn't hit it with the PCB cleaner, actually. Oh, man. This live stream is going a little bit longer than I expected. Wait a bit. Oh, man. Okay, we're almost at mission success. Building a functional ThinkPad X200 pretty much from like D panel. Placed every part in it, and I'm good. And then I'm over here. So yeah, I don't know. These things normally take about 4 hours. So Put this in, and this time actually hide in all nicely like that. And then, oh wait, we can put this on lock. You can open it up, and hopefully we will be booting into something. I'm not quite sure what's on this disk. It's nothing. Nothing is on this disk. Fuck. Okay. But I mean, at least you can see though, like if you type in ls, that there's like a hard drive showing up. So since I normally put in like the 240 gigabyte SSDs anyways, I'm probably just gonna call this like the end of the live stream, and you know, you got yourself a nice Weaver booted X200, but there's not an operating system on it. And if you have any last minute questions, I will be here until the end of this cigarette. So I don't know. It was okay. Like I said though, it like started to feel like actual, you know, work. Is like if you think about it, like I have like, you know, about like probably like $120 worth of parts once I put like in the 8 gigs of RAM in there and the SSD. So it's like I think I only make like $80 or something off them. So it's like, I mean, if you actually want to like think about the margins, it's you spend like about $40 to $50, probably average $45 on an X201 of some sort to get the like LED backlit display and the keyboard, and then it's like $8. But this time I got ripped off for like, you know, this one's like my plastic welded one, but this Chinese one, it has a fake adapt. Like, okay, so comparison: actual fingerprint scanner, Alibaba special printer fingerprint scanner with a thing that didn't even fit. You know, so okay, it's like 45 then plus 8. Well, I just Weaver booted X200. I would grab it, but cigarette and ash is, yeah, not a good combo. So, yeah, so then you're sitting at like $53. The 8 gigs of RAM, so like probably 25 to 30. I'll just make it 27 to make the math easier. So that's at $80. And then X200 motherboard, I bought them in bulk, so it's 96. And then you add the battery cost, and it comes up to roughly 120. So I don't know. Probably spent about like 5-6 hours. So it's like, hey, it's not quite minimum wage. They sell this for 200 or whatever, but I don't know. Like at the moment, no, but I'm gonna stuff 8 gigs into it. I kind of just like I have plenty of RAM. Like I can find 2 8 gigabyte sticks. It's a cigar. You don't. You know. I mean, I guess it's like one of those weird cigarettes. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I got it done. I mean, typically I would break this up into like stations, I guess, if I was doing 2 of them. But Hey, there, and I beat Wolfgang. I did it in a video with all the embarrassing moments there. Yeah, still beats me by like 10K subscribers, but we'll ignore that. Just gonna take my victory. Um, oh. So, I don't know. Has anyone actually stuck around for the entire thing? I'm curious. Like, has it just been like trade-offs of people? Oh my god. Ugh. I'm exhausted actually. Like it's not really like physical exhaustion, like if you're like, doing like a workout sort of thing. It's more like if you've like been driving a car for like 6 hours. I don't know. My Honda Accord, the power steering's out, so uh, huh. Well, thanks. God dang it, Bobby. I can't do King of the Hill accents. I can do like I can do an impression of like the con maybe, but I don't really want to. I feel like it might be construed as slightly offensive. I don't know. I don't really like hmm, eh. Ah, legs. More shekels? I'm confused. Like I don't think I can send you shekels. But the propane and propane accessories. Okay, you know what's actually what I've been thinking about doing though is I used to build like motorized bicycles. They weren't electric, but like actual like gas powered ones with the cheap two-stroke kits. And I noticed that now they have cheap four-stroke kits, and I've always like my biggest issue with those were they. Well, eventually I switched to motorcycles, and those are all different world of fun, but I've kind of wanted to like buy one and like run it off LP gas, not like propane. But oh, anyways, see you later, Fat Elvis. Because those things can go like they get like about like 100 miles to a gallon, and LP gas actually improves horsepower slightly, and it discludes the fact of having gasoline or carburetor around, so you could actually store it indoors like an electric bicycle. What? I mean, like I was about to. Sorry for pulling people back in. I said like I finished the live stream after the cigarette. Oh God, I got smoke in my eye. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Like it would be quite an interesting project, and I think that it's like $200. I've been thinking about selling my like actual motorcycle. Like I own a DR 650, and buying like a kind of like RV type thing, but I don't know. The only way to do that is like So I mean, like I have to fit like this area of lab, and it could be like condensed slightly. So I was looking for one with like a destroyed interior, and I don't really have a lot of experience with that. I can do like basic carpentry, and I was thinking just spray foam for insulation. I mean, it would probably look terrible, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, yeah, sell DR650, but then I'm gonna be like, what am I gonna ride for a motorcycle? So I think I could go down the Renault route with the recycled lithium batteries, but it's not exactly. I'd much rather have something with a decent range that doesn't cost me a lot of money and could be made without tearing apart hundreds of laptop batteries, even though I do actually have quite a bit of them. The problem is that like lithium ion discharge curves aren't like not discharge, but capacity over discharge cycles isn't linear. It's like an 80% curve. So it goes, I mean, it's exponential once it hits 80%. So it goes about this. And once it's at 80% of the original capacity, it goes like that. So when you take an old laptop battery cell out, you're also have to consider the weakest cell in the pack, at least if you're not like, I mean, I guess if you're running them in parallel, it would work out better, but still, I think you would need like an individual charge controller. I haven't quite worked out how you would do the charge controllers for a DIY like e-bike pack, but it just seemed to me like, spend like 300 on a gasoline engine and produce LP gas, which is probably doable versus like, spending whatever amount on like electric motor for a bicycle, like a hub motor with charge controller and everything, even a Chinese one's like $200. And based off, some of the Chinese manufacturing quirks here, I'm not quite sure I want to put that much money. I'm fine with an $8 part. Typically, their plastic $8 parts fit right, but yeah, I don't know. Nope. I guess it went out due to my rambly speech. So, when you buy a pack of cigarettes or cigars for $1.50, you tend not to care about finishing them or refries. So, anyways, though, have a good one, YouTube. Hope you enjoyed the times. And yes, I do still play violin. I actually made an electric violin the user, but yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bye. Oh, I don't know. Some sort of outro. Can't really think of a tune. End stream.